Israel and the United Arab Emirates have enjoyed warm relations since the signing of the Abraham Accords in 2020. The agreements have brought about a significant improvement in relations between both states, including the establishment of full diplomatic ties, the opening of embassies, and the development of economic and cultural exchanges. The accords have had a positive impact on Israeli-UAE relations and have opened up new opportunities for cooperation and collaboration between the two countries. One of these opportunities was the opening of the We Remember exhibition at the Crossroads of Civilizations Museum in Dubai, the first of its kind in the Middle East and North Africa region. Ahead of the International Holocaust Remembrance Day, we are honored to have the opportunity to speak with Ahmed Obaid AlMansoori, former member of the UAE Federal National Council and founder of the Crossroads of Civilizations Museum, to discuss anti-Semitism and Holocaust remembrance in the Arab world. Mr. Mansoori, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm honored to be here. And thanks to all of you.
So let's start from the beginning. How did the idea of creating a Holocaust exhibition in Dubai come about?
I mean, there was, years of work before that, before the idea of the Holocaust exhibition. As you know, the museum has been open for the public. It moved from my house to the public since 2012. And in the museum, we have things from the life of the Jews in the Arab and Islamic world, especially in the MENA region. We have many artifacts, many important documents, that reflect the life of Israelis and the Jewish people. And also we have the monotheist room. So the paving for the Holocaust gallery was from before. And it has been very well known in the museum among our Jewish friends in the world, and also some of our Israeli friends who used to come to visit the UAE before. And so the idea of the Holocaust gallery, there were a couple of triggers for it. Was we saw it was very important to first of all to reintroduce the idea of the Holocaust and what happened in in its correct and accurate way. And we had the opportunity, and also had the opportunity to having with me two of my Israeli colleagues used to work with me, and they were very helpful in creating and putting the artistic touches in it. And also, but before that, like a couple of months before that, the main trigger was the rise of anti-Semitism in other regions. Regions that I never expected that anti-Semitism will increase, and the hatred will increase. So I saw some images which were very disturbing, and before I thought it will never happen, But when I saw these images, and especially in certain continents which were supposed to be more civilized and more democratic, and then I realized I was wrong. So that's why it was very important to introduce it and to send the message to the world, that the Middle East is again, it's a place, it's a safe place. It should be away from all of these negativities. And thanks God, we never had such massacres. There were before wars and massacres, but on the war level, but not as such racist and in the way of genocide level. So we think it's very important to reintroduce the idea of the Holocaust, what happened there in the region. Especially, there are many people either in denial or in refusal to talk about it. So it's an opportunity for that. And secondly, to learn from it, and to make sure that, send the right message that, the Israelis and Arabs, they are working together peacefully. I think that so many miracles can happen. One of these miracles is to really contribute to the stability of the region, to change the game from zero-sum game to win-win game.
Well, thank you very much. You talk about different topics that we will discuss later on, but first of all, we also wanted to understand how did the general public perceive the new exhibition, and how was it portrayed in the local and international press?
In the international press and the local press was very good. Especially from the beginning, we started, for the Holocaust Gallery, it was established on Yom Hashua. It was on April 8, 2021. So that was the first one. And since then, we have done 5 events. And the last event was the Kristallnacht event on November 9th, 2022. We brought the major one to Dubai, UAE. And also, in a few days, we're going to have our own event. So so we have different categories. In terms of the media, the international media was very positive, the response. The Israeli media was very positive. And in the UAE also, it was very positive. The media, the reaction of the media was very positive. In terms of the regional media, it was not very positive from the social media, from the Arab region. So, and it was not very bad, but there were a couple of times it was, for the second event on May 26, 2021, the reaction was very negative, but at the regional level. But internally was very good in the country and in Israel and also internationally. In terms of the public, we have different categories. We have the locals and we have the residents, and then we have the school children, and then we have also families, and we have groups coming there. In terms of the schools, it's very interesting, because I care also about the schools and the school teachers who come there, because we have teachers who come from different countries who are not in peace with Israel. There is no diplomatic relationship with Israel. So because they live in Dubai and the United Arab Emirates, which the culture is very open, because when you live in the UAE, you feel that, you're not alone. You see the whole world around you. Like we have more than 190 nationalities, more than 206 ethnicities there. So, and people live, in a very positive coexistence. So the idea of tolerance, of acceptance, of others, and we have, we have many nations in war actually with each other from different countries, but, in the United Arab Emirates, they're different.
And you're talking about perceptions, and I was wondering, how would you describe the perception of the Arab world, and specifically in Dubai, toward Jews and anti-Semitism before and after the Abraham Accords?
First of all, the perception of Bani Israel, of the Jewish, they are, for us, the Ahl Kitab. Ahl Kitab, the people of the book, of the holy books. So, we share the same religion, we share the same God, and we share the same kinship. We are actually brothers before being cousins in reality. That's why we have an exhibition in the museum to show the places of the Jews who have an historical place of the Jews in the MENA region, just to remind the people that Jews are not foreigners, they're part of the region. Secondly, there is a war, there's others. This area, I don't get involved in it. I don't mix it with my Holocaust gallery or with my museum. I'll be more than happy a different platform to talk about the politics. But when there's a war, there are many things happen out of the context, and the negativities happen from both sides. And I am not part of that game, and we try not to be part of that game. We have actually in the museum many beautiful stories between the Jews and the Arabs, historical and even recent. Even the Holocaust gallery, thanks to the creator of the gallery, Ms. Yael Grafi, she introduced the concept of the righteous among the nations, and she brought stories from the Muslims and Arabs who risked their life to save the Jews. From Albania, from Egypt, from Algeria, from Persia, from Turkey, from different countries. And so that was a very beautiful concept. We did not know about that actually, in terms of Holocaust. We did not know that there were many people risked their life. I did not know that the imams in Algeria and France, they had a fatwa, do not submit the Jews to the Nazis, to resist that. I did not know about these stories, beautiful stories.
Absolutely, and those are stories that should be told. I mean, exactly. And I was wondering, one of the Emirati brokers of the Accords, Ali Al-Nuaimi, once said that the Arab world, the other generation in the Arab world, operated in an environment where speaking about the Holocaust was tantamount to betraying Arabs and Palestinians. Could you provide more detail or explanation on this perception, or is this a common perception nowadays too?
It depends where you come from. It depends where you are. I mean, as you know, it depends how do you see the issue of the Palestinians and Israeli issue, and how you look at it. We look at things in a more comprehensive way, and I think there are many ways of solving the problem, and many ways, many platforms, diplomatic platforms, and we believe in that with such initiating diplomatic relationships, opening the door for dialogue. This is the best platform, for solving different problems and issues, sitting on the table. Secondly, yes, when there is a war, when there is, war between two groups, between the Palestinians and Israelis, and you have sympathizers from either from both sides, you have negativity. So people, I mean, this is my analysis, is that, people will not, I mean, the politicians will not allow other side to sympathize with the other side by any means. So having said that, I will tell you something. We know about the Holocaust. I know about the Holocaust from the childhood. We know about the Holocaust. I know about from fourth grade. When they talk the history of the world, the history of the region, world, we know about the Nazis. We know about their doctrine. We know about, their racist thing, what they did to the Jews, why they selected the Jews, why they were, they said it was, specifically, targeting the Jews to it was the worst genocide against humanity at that time. But what we did not know, the Nazis also, selected also other groups like, the elders or people who are not productive or people who are gays and others. We did not know about that. So, but the whole idea, but it's not studied or taught as it is in Israel and other countries. So not in detail, the whole thing. So people don't talk about it, maybe, from different countries for political reason or refusal. This denial, I think, is for refusal. So, and there are also some triggers for it. This is a very interesting topic to talk about it, and that's what I'm telling you. In the museum, we have residents also, people who come from countries who do not have a relationship with Israel, come from the countries who look at things from old side. So that's the interesting. So we are getting expertise to talk about, teach it, not to the Jews. We did not do this Holocaust gallery to teach the Jewish people about it. No, it's open for the people, for other people. So I think Dubai and the United Arab Emirates is the best platform to educate about Holocaust, because here we are exposed to questions like, did it really happen? Is it not exaggerated? Is it not politicized? So this is the conversation, the dialogue that make people understand and to see the facts there.
This is absolutely interesting, and that leads me to the following question, that the UAE now is taking steps to include Holocaust in school curricula. Talking about education, how does your museum approach the commemoration of the Holocaust, and what message does it hope to convey to the public about this dark chapter in history?
It is the darkest chapter in history of the Jews and also the whole humanity. So we have one of the verses in the Quran, which is also you have in Mishnah, and who saves one life saves the entire world. And God says in the Quran, who saves one life saves the entire humanity, and who kills one life kills the entire humanity. The effect, if you think of the negativities, if you kill a person, how that devastating on the community level. How about when people kill 6 million people? How devastation at generation level, at regional level. So it's a really, the biggest crime against humanity happened. So this is a factual thing, and there's no other in especially our recent history, less than 100 years, there's no big crime as this crime that happened, and very well documented. So first of all, in terms of education, the museum by itself, it's a full acknowledgement of the Holocaust, and secondly, provide the facts with the items, and also at the same time we have stories there, and also thirdly, is the time not to to open the dialogue openly with everyone, and to people have to learn first to separate between issues. People can differ with each other politically, but should not accept any human right violation against others. Should not accept any unjust any tyranny against each other. So it's the time people have to especially from the different countries, to separate these things. And fourthly, and very important for people to remember the Holocaust, and in a way that to learn about it, to know the roots for it. That's why in the gallery we have 5 sections. One of the sections about the narrative of the Nazis, how things were growing there, the negativities. Secondly, the stories. We start from the Kristallnacht and others. Then we have artistic part with the child, the guns pointing at the child, and also we have the photos of the children who got killed in the Holocaust. Also, we have lots of Q&A cards, postcards there, Q&A. People read to see to
interact.
Exactly. And then we have the righteous among the nations, and mainly from we put examples from Arab and Islamic world, and also from different countries, different religions. And then the last part is the hope. Is the hope, when we went to Auschwitz, and and we participated in the March of the Living of that, and the hope, and it was the biggest delegation last year from the Arab world, also from all countries. They went to Auschwitz, so they were also part there. So So this is things are going there. So in the museum, we are showing the tolerance, the multiculturalism, the respect for all. At the same time, history is not always beautiful. So there's some dark side of it. So the Holocaust is there to remind the people, if you do not have this, if you do not respect one another, if you don't have this positive coexistence, if you don't accept others' perspectives or others to have their own perspective on life, such crime can happen anytime, anywhere, because we are human. It doesn't matter how sophisticated you are, how civilized you are, how educated you are. A person is a person, human is a human, and then we have both sides. So how can we prevent these things? And and it's very beautiful. We have the children, the people, families, for example, residents. They come here, and and we have a book about the people to have their comments. More than 97% of the comments are very beautiful, positive. We do have very few negative comments, but we put it there. People have their right to put their comments there, so we never take them out. So the book is there, and people come and read other comments also. So it's museum, I think, is the best platform to teach about the Holocaust in the region. Why? Because people see facts and people respect museums.
Yeah.
I think it's an introduction. It's a 101 to proper introduction for the Holocaust.
And we were talking about education. We talked about prevention, and I was wondering about to what extent does the museum contribute to combat the rise of anti-Semitism and other forms of hate that have been seen around the Arab world in recent years, mainly on social media. Is there a different change of perception from the people that participate in the exhibition, or how do you perceive it?
From the beginning, when I mentioned, and I had intention to mention that, we started the museum publicly from 2012. Before, it was from 2006, 2011 in my house. It was a private museum. Then I made it public. I'm the owner, but it's made public from 2012. It was by invitation from the government, because they love the concept. They said this reflects the culture of the country. They give me the best house in the historical area. So from beginning, we have items from the Jewish world. We have items from the Jews. We have things from whether personal or religious, and very beautiful artifacts we have there. And we have people come there to the museum. I notice when people come to the museum, if they leave their political hat, their judgmental hat, whatever hat outside, they get into the journey. Museums in the world, I think it's a universal thing. People respect museums. People respect facts. And everything there we have documented. So when people go there, when they see the fact, it's different. And honestly, the most people who get excited, about the Jewish items are the religious people, the Muslim religious people. I'll tell you one example. We have a very beautiful prayer or magic ball in the museum. And this prayer, it's 2 hours, 10 minutes from here. There was a Jewish community like in the 18th century, 19th century. So that ball, usually the prayer ball either in Hebrew or in Aramaic. This is half in Hebrew, half in Aramaic, and the word in Arabic. It's a 3 Semitic language, one ball. And when we have from the Islamic authorities, when they have the scholars came there to officially visit the museum and the Holocaust and everything, when they saw that prayer ball, they were very excited. They heard about it, but they have never seen it before. Because from the time of the Prophet Muhammad, the rabbi used to pray to heal the Muslims and the Arabs with these prayers. And the Muslim used to pray also for the Jewish people. And then they started the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, with his Jewish neighbor. He used to pray for him when he was sick, and they were neighbor. When and there are lots of beautiful stories, about taking loan from each other, and which is a sign, which is a message, sign of coexistence. And we are the only two religions that take from each other. I learned a lot from them. And always people get excited when they see that, because there was a virtual wall before. Virtual wall, they have not seen it. And deeply, I believe there's no hatred deeply. Whatever is happening is political. When people are politically led, and people were politically led by politicians, by their leaders, and negative things happen. And this from both sides. We hear many story types from both sides. And that does not bother me personally, because I know this is natural. But deep inside, I know if we create the right platform for stability, if we can really contribute to the change of the game from zero-sum game to win-win game, the strategy, the mentality of both nations, I think, we will go back to the golden age when the Jews and Arabs used to live together. At the time, Middle East was the shrine of knowledge, of religion, of principles, of values, which were contributing everywhere. So all of the main universal values came from our region. So I think that, it's not too late. We can do that one. And the peace between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, it's a very beautiful example. And our museum, from people to people, and also the Abrahamic family house in Abu Dhabi, these are only, catalyst projects to show the people, it is possible. Everybody can practice their religion. Everybody can be themselves next to each other and accept one another in a different way.
Well, that's a strong message, a positive one. So, Mr. Mansoori, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for honoring me with invitation.